Welcome back to Sidewalks Entertainment. 10 years later, we had a second interview with the filmmaker and actor about his amazing career and his film that he was promoting at the time, And So It Goes. From 2014, here's host Cindy Rhodes again with Rob Reiner.
Our guest today is an Oscar-nominated director, actor, writer, and political activist who directed such amazing film projects as When Harry Met Sally, Misery, and A Few Good Men. I am so excited to welcome Rob Reiner to Sidewalks.
Thanks for having me, Cindy.
Hello, Rob. So glad to have you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So I know that you grew up in Brooklyn, but you graduated from Beverly Hills High School, where so many acclaimed actors actually came from.
Yeah,
is that
actually,
kind of where you?
I was born in the Bronx, and I did go to school in Beverly. I was with Albert Brooks and Richard Dreyfuss and a number of people that went on to do pretty well.
So is that kind of where you decided that maybe acting, you're going to follow in your dad, Carl Reiner's footsteps and become an actor? Was it?
You know, actually, I think I always wanted to do that. My mother tells this story. I don't remember it. I think I must have been 7 or 8 years old. And I went up to her and I said, "Mom, I want to change my name." And she thought, "Oh my God, this poor boy, he's worried about being in the shadow of Carl Reiner, you know, a big thing to have to live up to." And she said, "Well, what do you want to change your name to?" And I said, "Carl." So I basically, I wanted to be just like my dad. I looked up to him, I loved him, and I idolized him. So I think even at a young age, I always wanted to go into show business.
Well, you know, let's talk about your film, And So It Goes. It stars Michael Douglas and Diane Keaton. Why don't you tell us about this film?
Well, it's essentially an extension of The Bucket List, which is a movie I did a while ago. Whenever we were asked on the press tour for Bucket List, what's on your bucket list, whenever they asked Jack Nicholson that question, he would say, "One more great romance." And that gave me the idea for a film about two people who find each other later on in life. And that's what And So It Goes is about. It's the same theme, which is, you know, life is short, life is precious, and you embrace it. And if you're lucky enough to find somebody you can fall in love with at that age, you jump at that chance.
Now, had you ever worked with Diana and Michael before?
Well, Michael I had worked with. I did The American President with him and had an incredible experience. I had worked with him even earlier than that. When we were in our 20s, we acted together in a movie called Summer Tree, which was one of the worst movies ever made. But we had fun, and I've known him since I'm very young. Diane I had never worked with, and neither had Michael, and we were all dying to work with her. I mean, we've admired her over the years, but it was an incredible experience. I mean, the idea that these two iconic Academy Award winners would eventually team up, the chemistry was incredible.
Right. Well, Rob, you know, All in the Family was really just a groundbreaking television and really kind of puts you on the map, puts you in front of the American public eye. As you look back kind of on your career there with that show, what stands out to you? Is there a fond memory that you'll just always carry with you?
Well, what stands with me is the feeling that you have with your TV family. That cliche is true, that you spend more time with your TV family than you do with your real family, and you do get very, very, very close. And I remember the last show we did when Mike and Gloria were leaving to go to California, and we had a scene to say goodbye, and there was no acting. I mean, you basically were saying goodbye to these people who you loved, and it was very real, the feelings we had. So I think what I remember most is just the great feeling I had in working with that group of people. It was an incredible experience.
Well, you are just an amazing director and an actor, and it's been such a pleasure to sort of watch your career evolve. And I just thank you so much for being with us today on Sidewalks, and I really wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit sidewalkstv.com.